Thank you for choosing to watch the Watchman News Headlines video. Our full episodes can now be seen over at Patreon with much more added content for just $2 a month. Link is in the description. If you cannot afford $2 a month, please consider using our Amazon affiliate link, purchasing from our Teespring store, or making a PayPal donation. All links are below. In order for us to grow, we have to make changes to enable it. Our time is valuable, and we have been one of the very few news sources actually dedicated to bringing you honest, hard-hitting, actionable news and information. Plus, for your $2 a month, you do not have to hear me blabber about these links. It's a win for us all.
Bullshit.
Thank you. Good evening, Watchmen and Watchwomen of YouTube. So, tonight, we discussed, we watched for a good part of the time, about half the time or so. We watched the whatever you want to call it from Biden, where he said a bunch of crap and a bunch of people clapped like, it's really fake. So we watched about half an hour or so of that. And then we talked about the situation that's unfolding in Elizabeth City, South Carolina. So, and of course, a lot of craziness unfolding there. Judge has denied the release of video footage involved in the shooting of and killing of a man there. It's certainly the way it is being handled. It is extremely suspicious. And I think anybody with any sense of non-bias can see that. I mean, it's dripping with this ain't right. And so anyway, I'm paying particular close attention to there right now. And then, considering everything we've got on the political end of things, because as you know, politics now plays such a huge role in this kind of stuff. So with the political end of things, just because this judge denied this release currently, doesn't mean that's the end of the road, There are other judges, and, there are higher judges, and we shall see what happens. We shall see what happens. And when I say there are higher judges, I mean federal, but what I'm don't misunderstand me. I know constitutionally, county is the one who makes the call, but nonetheless, keep an eye out as to how this turns out, because I have a feeling you're going to have those in the government start crying out to release the tapes, release the video immediately. And I imagine there's going to be a lot of pressure to release it immediately, especially with how suspicious they made it sound, because they did really make it sound suspicious. One second. So anyway, that's what we talked about, and I would recommend you keep your eye on that. It's going to be an interesting ride. Anyway, I've got some headlines for you. Only other updates I have. Sorry I didn't get the video out to last night. I'll make sure to get it out tonight. Let's see. The only other things to add, I'm supposed to be getting the shed tomorrow, so I will make a reminder that the beginning of a new month is coming up, and that's an ideal time to hop on Patreon. And now's an ideal time period, because with getting this shed, that means I'm going to have these projects I'm going to be able to start, and I'll be having a lot more stuff on sorry, my watch distracted me. On just the different projects, I'll be having a lot of different videos, and I'm going to get all this figured out, just how I'm going to get this all in and make it worth, it's in my opinion, it's certainly worth it, but I want to be able to put in as much as possible on my end to you guys, good quality stuff, and it's coming. So biggest thing is getting this stupid shed put up, so I've got some room that I can work and do stuff and go from there. So anyway, that is coming up really, really quick. I actually have been spending some time today. I'll be spending some more time tomorrow shooting a video on doing edibles, and so that's going to be released on Patreon. If not tomorrow, probably the following day. So pretty much start to finish, from decarboxylation all the way to filling the gummy molds and popping them out of the molds. So got half of it done today, and the video taping anyway, and then plan on getting the rest of it tomorrow, and hopefully edited and, with any luck, put up. So but that'll be on Patreon. So anyway, I think that pretty well covers it. I think so. So let me jump into the headlines. We'll get these done, and I'll get out of here for the night. Then we got one more night to go for before my weekend starts. And it sounds like I'm going to be putting a shed together. So anyway, this I shared out last night. I don't think I shared it out during the show. I think this came out afterwards. So if I'm mistaken, I apologize. Kamala Harris announces U.S. will send $310 million in humanitarian aid to Central America. Gotta love that, huh? Okay, and this starts the stuff that I shared out today. Epicurious will no longer publish recipes with beef. Yes, you heard that correctly. There's a recipe website that will no longer be publishing recipes that have beef in them, because they want more or less to discourage the use of beef. That's insane. Anyway, massive jolts felt across northeast India as magnitude 6.0 earthquake strikes Assam. Woman charged with killing New York Police Department officer in drunken hit and run hours after saying "fuck the police" in a live stream. India's economy may shrink amid soaring COVID-19 cases, analysts warn. 2 black market dealers busted in India amid growing medical oxygen shortage as COVID-19 death toll hits 200,000. Clear-up operation starts in Qingdao, China, after Liberian vessel spills 500 tons of oil. Overwhelming majority of Russians believe Crimea is legally part of the country, including those who don't support Putin, a poll reveals. Babes lounging in Malibu, BLM leader jail reform group accused of grifting over meeting at Posh Beachside Ranch. I'll get it out. Anyway, this is, I was thinking about this earlier when I put this out. And, all of these organizations, once they reach, that level that they've got like millions and millions, and then eventually into the billions, they all buy nice homes. They all do the same things that this woman's doing. All that they're trying to do is make this woman seem to be something different than any of the others, and she's not. She's just the same thing. She is somebody that, I'm not saying she's not taking advantage of the situation. I'm not claiming that at all. But how many people don't? How many people don't take advantage of that kind of a situation? That's what I want to know. Go take a look at the people that are in charges of places like, Salvation Army and stuff like that, and tell me those aren't individuals that are in positions that are taking advantage of other individuals. Go ahead, tell me. Because I know a little bit about that, and telling you, it's insane. It's insane the amount of misleading and all of that goes on in so many of these organizations. So this is nothing. EU antitrust fine could cost Apple 10% of its global revenue, says reports. EU lawmakers ratify post-Brexit trade deal with overwhelming majority despite Brussels' legal action against London. Dutch citizen arrested in Belarus after illegally crossing border on bicycle to start a new life now faces 5-year entry ban. EU seeks swift resolution as legal case against AstraZeneca over COVID vaccine supply delays begin in court. Chinese official defends Fukushima nuclear waste caricature amid diplomatic row with Japan. 16 children and 2 teachers injured in knife attack on Chinese kindergarten, suspect arrested by police. Is Musk turning Tesla into a cryptocurrency hedge fund? RT's boom bust explores. It kind of almost seems in some ways he is. Our 2 mortal enemies are Russia and ISIS, says explosive new report on existential threats from Georgia's top security agency. Australian big tech watchdog group calls out Facebook for enabling risky ads for alcohol and adult dating targeted at teen users. Ruh-roh. Aussie man who called it fucking justice when a truck hit cops who pulled over his speeding Porsche goes to jail. Yeah, I'm guessing he went to jail for saying fucking justice when the truck hit the cop. I'm assuming. That's just mind-blowing. Hey, you don't have to like the speech. You know what I mean? It's free speech isn't about, and I know this is Australia and they don't necessarily have that, but here in the United States we're supposed to have free speech, and you don't have to like what somebody says. They still have the right to say it, But we're starting to see more and more in these other countries people being arrested for things they say, and it's happening a lot in Australia and Russia and the UK. It's really happening a lot here lately, and I am willing to bet you're going to see a lot of it start happening in the United States, and I mean on a huge level. You watch. It's coming quick. Let's see. Liberals demanding pro-Western policies from Moscow simply don't understand Russian genetic code, Foreign Minister Lavrov claims. Washington rejected Moscow's offer of complete reset in Russia-U.S. relations shortly after inauguration of Biden, FM Lavrov reveals. Let's see. NHS app to be used as COVID passport and might serve for traveling abroad, a UK Transport Secretary reveals. Or did I just repeat that? Samsung's heirs to pay $10.8 billion inheritance tax bill after death of Chairman Lee Kun-hee. That's a little chunk of change. Saudi Arabia may sell 1% of Aramco to a leading global energy company, says the Crown Prince. UK Electoral Commission launches investigation against Bojo over lavish Downing Street refurbishment. 7 Italians linked to a far-left group detained after decades of terrorizing the country. all of liquefied natural gas from Russia's Arctic for the next 20 years sold in advance, says Novatech. A Bolshoi theater cancels international tours until March 2022 and blames foreign states for not accepting Russia's COVID-19 vaccine. Leaking of foreign minister's private conversation was intended to spark division in Iran, President Rouhani says. More than 270,000 untaken COVID-19 vaccine appointments in France, but government insists on following the priority list. Another Madrid election candidate sent bullets and posts after politicians and police received death threats. 100% a political act. Outrage as Russian flag is swiped during Droughts World Final after order from WADA heads. Ukrainian president pitches summit with Putin at Vatican as Kremlin says it's wonderful to hear Kiev talk about peace and not war. 2 Met officers charged with misconduct over photos of murdered sisters taken at London crime scene. Colombian school teacher apologizes for kissing wife's breast during Zoom physics lesson. Maybe it was a physics lesson about kissing breasts. I mean, it's possible. Boris Johnson denies saying let the bodies pile high after SNP MP asked if he is a liar. The politician. Of course he's a liar. Road safety watchdogs urge caution against unrealistic expectations after UK okays use of self-driving cars. 6 Russian citizens attempted to assassinate weapons dealer Emilian Gebrev and exploded 4 of his Bulgarian depots, Sofia says. Did Rogan become a medical doctor when we weren't looking? White House and Fauci ask after COVID-19 vaccination comments. Myanmar pro-democracy protest leader charged with police officers' murders and treason, says state TV. Hunter Biden's new gig as fake news course teacher becomes latest battlefield for partisan wars in the U.S. Mandatory microchip implants could be introduced in Russia under a new proposal to keep electronic tabs on country's cats and dogs. Global conflict taking devastating toll on over 200 endangered species, says a report. Thai Prime Minister given greater powers to tackle COVID pandemic days after being fined for not wearing a mask. Federal investigators execute search warrant at New York City apartment of former Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani. Northern Ireland's First Minister and DUP leader Arlene Foster quits after internal party revolt. Facing threat that is more difficult to spot, French PM presents new bill to combat Islamist terrorism. Polish ace removes flag in solidarity with Russian rival whose national tricolor was torn off mid-game during Droughts World Final. Actually, I got a sports one in there, it looks like. Sorry about that. U.S. judge refuses public release of Andrew Brown Jr. shooting death videos but allows disclosure to family. EU Parliament mulls block on Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline and banning Russia from SWIFT system despite leaders' calls for dialogue. Pardon me. Let me have a sip of tea here and maybe a couple of vapes. Okay, I don't think we got a whole bunch more. Weapons of mass destruction. Trio accused in Michigan governor kidnap plot planned to blow up bridge, a new indictment says. Chicago releases graphic video of police shooting Anthony Alvarez amid calls for foot pursuit reform. And again, here's a case, a perfect example of when they can show you that, hey, look, we made the right call here. We made the right call. When they can show you that, they come out with that video and they presented this what they presented here is very well done. Very well done. And, I know things can be faked and this, that, and the other thing. But I'm telling you, from what I can visually see, this definitely supports their case. Without a doubt. And boom, they were right out with it. But we've got a situation there in Elizabeth City to where, there's some reason they didn't want to come out with it. A juror in Chauvin trial goes on cable news tour and says jury felt no pressure to arrive at a guilty verdict. Yeah, and I did read this article, and he pretty much said that it's pretty much a slam dunk for the most part when it comes to the guilty verdict. So, FAA issues Boeing with new airworthiness directive to fix electrical issues with troubled 737 MAX model. Has to be taken seriously. Police investigate death list of German MPs after vote on lockdown law. Cuomo's aides spent months hiding COVID-19 nursing home deaths, New York Times claims based on documents and interviews. Detroit police chief calls George Floyd Justice Act a veiled attempt at dismantling policing. Missouri school district official urges hiding materials from parents after complaints about equity lessons. Angry Renault workers take bosses hostage for 12 hours and bid to block factory sale. So, not saying that headline to suggest that, nothing. Nothing to see there. Let's see. I had a couple more. Super soldiers and AI generals. Top Space Force scientist says Pentagon must adopt human augmentation tech to beat out adversaries. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? I haven't put this out yet. Let me get this out. This is actually pretty big news. That's crazy. So super soldiers and AI generals. Top Space Force scientist says Pentagon must adopt human augmentation technology to beat out its adversaries. Yikes. And the other headline was, the future will belong to America. Biden promises joint session of Congress and first speech since taking office. And I don't know if he's still going on and on. Probably not, because I don't think his batteries can stay charged that long. I think they got to go recharge his animatronics. And so I doubt he's still alive. But anyway, those are the headlines. I'm getting the hell out of here. God willing, we'll see you tomorrow. I hope you all have a good night. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. Shalom.